It's week 10 on the Pacific Crest Trail, and I am enjoying one last smoothie and some fruit before we get back on the trolley and head back to trail. It was bittersweet to leave the real food of town behind, but with views like this, it always felt like the trail was welcoming us back with open arms. Once back on trail, we immediately headed for a fun little side quest to Devil's Post Pile, which is this unique rock structure where the rock comes off in like square, rectangular shapes. It was really neat and really cool. But what was not cool was this water crossing where this bridge had gone out. I was not expecting a water crossing at the end of the day, and it just... never a fun way to end the day. It is the start of week 10 on the Pacific Crest Trail. And excuse me while I pant as I do this one, because we're climbing switchbacks. So technically yesterday was the start of week 10, but we were getting back on trail from Mammoth. And so my brain was just focused on getting down the Blue Blaze and back to trail. For whatever reason, it's like simultaneously difficult and very easy to get back on trail after a town day. So, yeah. Yesterday we spent the morning in Mammoth before we left. And then we caught the bus. And we did some miles and we did a little side quest to the Devil's Post Pile. And that was pretty cool. And now we are climbing. And I think I have too much food in my pack because my legs are not having it today. They're so tired. And we're only like a few miles in. But we're headed towards Yosemite. We're going to spend some time in the valley when we get there. And we're super thrilled about that. And yeah, today we're going to try to go over Donahue Pass. Which is like the southern border of Yosemite, so that'll be cool. I'm really excited to get to Yosemite. I've only been once. I went in 2018 with my mom, and it was really, really cool, except it was March, so it was really snowy, so I think it's going to be a very different experience to see it in June. So yeah, I absolutely love Yosemite. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I'm really excited to see it again. So we are just gonna keep trucking that way and hope that my legs get some more strength in them at some point today. Although we had just been in Mammoth and Yosemite wasn't but a few days away, we couldn't pass up the opportunity to go to the iconic national park. It's such a special place, and I was really excited to experience it in a different season. Have I mentioned how much I love walking in the forest and being back among the trees? If I took away anything from hiking the Pacific Crest Trail, it would be that I am definitely meant for the forest, not the desert. Oh, how I wish that there were time to swim in every single alpine lake that we came across. We are currently climbing Donahue Pass. The funeral veil, aka the bug net, is on. I also have bug pants, so I'm just super stylish. The mosquitoes are ravenous. But yeah, we're climbing up Donahue Pass. Supposedly, this one is a bit easier and the snow has melted, but I don't trust the comments on Far Out anymore, so we will see. We will see. Even if the passes were hard, as long as I kept getting to see cute marmot scenes like this, I would still be a happy hiker. If reincarnation exists, I think that I would like to come back as a marmot and get to live amongst these beautiful mountain views and enjoy all kinds of little snackies. 'Cause look at this little guy. It took us longer than it probably should have to make it over Donahue Pass because someone, aka me, kept stopping for every marmot that I saw. But eventually we crossed the sign and entered into the Yosemite Wilderness. It felt a bit surreal to be here and to be walking through this iconic national park. And I'll be honest, it was also a little bit strange because When you think of Yosemite, you think of El Cap and Half Dome, and Tuolumne Meadows is a completely different look from that, but still beautiful and magical in its own way. These bowl and kettle meals were also magical for my tummy. The next morning, as we made our way through the meadow with mountains in the distance, I couldn't help but soak it all in and just feel incredibly grateful to be here. I don't know what day it is anymore, but we're on the PCT. So yesterday we did Donahue Pass, which takes us in to Yosemite, which is really amazing and exciting. I'm so excited to be here. The ascent was smooth and awesome. It was a lot of like stone steps, which was somewhat nice, but also exhausting. The descent is what got me. I don't know if it was just also, you can hear my bag squeaking, I'm sorry. I think I packed the bear can weird. But yeah, the descent was just like steep and rocky, and I'd already rolled my ankle once yesterday, so I was trying not to have a repeat offense. And I think we'd already done like 18 miles, so I think I was just tired. And like 5,000 feet of elevation. But anyways, yesterday, by the time we got down, I was just so tired, and I was like, I can't do a talking video. But we are well rested today, and we have like 10-ish miles into Tuolumne Meadows. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. And then from there, we're gonna try and go into the valley. Technically, I guess we're not supposed to leave the PCT corridor, and the PCT corridor does not go through Yosemite Valley. But I feel like it's silly to be so close and to not like go see some of those beautiful sights that Yosemite is known for, because the trail does not go by them. Plus, like, I haven't been to the valley in like 7 years. We're hiking with friends who have never been, so we want to take them to see like what Yosemite is all about. And yeah, again, I just can't imagine being so close and not getting to go experience those beautiful spots. So hopefully all the things that we're worried about with getting down to the valley and then getting back to trail will all work out. But yeah, I'm so excited to be in Yosemite. Besides that, we were just excited to be going to the Yosemite Valley. We also were hoping to meet up with one of our friends from the Appalachian Trail while there. As I've said before, the people that we meet out here are one of my favorite parts of being on trail. And so to get to be on this trail, but to also potentially see one of our favorite friends from the Appalachian Trail, it was going to be a good day and a good time in Yosemite. When we first got down into Tuolumne Meadows, Barbie and I headed to the Wilderness Center because we were really confused about the rules for staying in Yosemite for thru hikers, and we just wanted, I'm a rule follower, so I wanted to be respectful of staying in the national park. We got really lucky and were able to score some last minute reservations in Camp Curry, and we were going to be able to stay right down in the valley. The hardest part was actually getting to the valley. This was the longest hitch. It took us over an hour to get a ride. So thank you to the nice Yosemite employee who gave us smelly thru hikers a ride. And if you're ever in Yosemite in June, give some hikers a ride from Tuolumne Meadows. When we got there that afternoon, we spent a lot of time wandering and of course eating. The pizza was delicious. The breakfast the next morning was not. But you don't really come to Yosemite for the food, now do you? Our first stop on our Yosemite tour was Yosemite Falls. Getting to see this iconic waterfall up close was nothing short of magic. It's definitely something you shouldn't miss if you're ever in Yosemite. But I must admit, my favorite thing in all of Yosemite is El Capitan. While I still have so much of the park to explore, and I probably will never explore all of it, there is something about this giant monolith that just speaks to my soul. I even stopped to paint it for a little while. I just love this mountain so much. Besides enjoying the views of Yosemite, I was also enjoying some treats, of course. And Yosemite was where I was introduced to the ice cream sandwiches called It's. They are very delicious and were the perfect treat to enjoy as we continued to wander around the park. That friend I mentioned meeting up with from the Appalachian Trail was in fact our friend Trail Jesus. Those of you who watched my Appalachian Trail videos may remember him from the Nantahala Outdoor Center. He actually baptized me as Trail Jesus in the Nantahala River, and funny enough, this was before Barbie and I were together, but he also baptized Barbie. So while we were in Yosemite and I got to see him, I of course had to have him baptize me in the Merced. It was so good to see him, and just a special moment that we've gotten to share on both trails. The next morning, instead of having to catch a hitch, we were actually able to catch a bus that went from the valley to Tuolumne Meadows, and that was really convenient and nice, and saved us from having to wait an hour and a half to find a hitch back. This bus is usually used for people staying in the valley who want to do a day trip to Tuolumne Meadows, but it worked out really well for us thru hikers. When we got back to the general store, we had another little snack before we made our way back towards the Pacific Crest Trail and the rest of the Yosemite Wilderness.
Even there, bubbles, bubbles. I don't know where they're from. I can tell you is that they're not from bubblegum. All that I can tell you is that they're not from bubblegum. Okay, see all the bubbles, babe.
There is a very well-known bubbling spring not far down the trail from Tuolumne Meadows, and as you could tell from that last video, we had a bubble song that our friends Oma and Donkey taught us, and as we were watching the bubbles, we had to sing the song as we made our way along the trail. As we got further and further from Tuolumne Meadows, we were still enjoying absolutely gorgeous views that I feel like not a lot of people get to see, and I was once again reminded how grateful I am to get to see them for myself. Hello! I think it is day 66 on the PCT. Maybe it's day 68. I don't know. I kind of lost track. But we are back on trail after spending about a day and a half in Yosemite Valley. Oh my gosh, it was so wonderful. It was a little bit complicated to get down there and figure out all of our lodging options and everything. But once we got down there, it was so worth it. We got to see our friend Trail Jesus from the Appalachian Trail because he works around that area. So it was really cool to spend some time with him and to just see the valley. And yeah, oh my gosh, that park is so beautiful. I honestly feel like I could spend days there and still not see everything that it has to offer, even though technically I'm still walking through it, seeing different things that it has to offer than like the icons like Half Dome and an El Cap. But yeah, it was wonderful. We ate some good food. The pizza place there is amazing. But yeah, we had a great time, and now we're back on trail, and it is very mosquito-y. The bug net is on my face, and I have my pants on, and it's kind of weirdly warm today. We had friends that were ahead of us that said that they had like really cold and stormy weather, but it's crystal clear blue skies for us, and I'm really hot. So, ooh, there's a mosquito on my hand. Yeah, so it's always kind of, after a day off, hard to come back to trail, but glad to be back on trail and to keep heading towards, we're almost to 1,000 miles, and we're almost to Kennedy Meadows, to Kennedy Meadows North, which is super exciting. And yeah, I think we're gonna start trying to book some bigger miles for the next little bit, because yeah, we've been fiddle farting a little bit, so, which is always wonderful. I love to fiddle fart, but we gotta finish this thing before it gets too snowy too. So onwards and northwards.
Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. I'm sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving for me like a wildfire.
It is barely 7 a.m. and the funeral veil is on because the mosquitoes are out and they're already biting me, which I hate. It is, I think, day 69 on the PCT. Yeah, I've been trying to remember to do like end of day videos too, but some days I'm just like, yesterday I was so tired. We only did like 15 miles, but yeah, I think it was because it was hotter than it has been in the Sierras, or it was just because it was an out-of-town day. I'm not sure. But either way, I was really tired. We got into camp and the mosquitoes were just everywhere. So they're fun. And by that I mean they make me want to light myself on fire. This morning we are up, we're moving. I don't know, this trail sometimes I feel a lot more tired out here than I did on the AT. I don't know if it's because like these miles in the Sierras have been tougher or what, but if we set up the tent right now, I would go right back to sleep. So we're gonna try and pull kind of a big mileage day today, but it's like, if we do that, it's like 6,000 feet up and 6,000 feet down. So I'm not sure that'll happen, but we will see. We've got 2 passes, but they're kind of minor, supposedly, but we will see. But hopefully it is another beautiful day on the PCT. And hopefully the mosquitoes don't make me go crazy. Bugs love me, and mosquitoes especially love to eat me alive. Even on the Appalachian Trail, I had a lot of issues with mosquitoes coming after me. And although the bug net and the mosquito pants helped so much, it was really aggravating day after day to have to look through a little screen and have bugs all in my face. It can be hard to get up in the mornings, but the first light on the mountains, that's pretty magical. Oh my God. Your pack?
It's covered in mosquitoes?
Yeah. We just went over Benson Pass. Barbie's We just went over Benson Pass, and I don't know what the hell is up with that pass, but Barbie and I both had like 50 mosquitoes like lined up on our arms. They were all over our packs. I like ran down. Oh, there's a cute little ground squirrel. Oh.
What is that?
But yeah, that pass, the mosquitoes soaked.
Oh. Filtering, hiking.
So many mosquitoes that we're walking and filtering because we can't stop. The mosquitoes were once again so horrible that day that we set up the tent for me to eat lunch. We started jokingly calling it my little playpen because I kind of felt like a little kid that sat in a playpen for break time. Despite the relentless mosquitoes, the views were absolutely stunning, and I was still convinced that I'd love to come back and hike this again sometime, though maybe in a different season where the mosquitoes aren't quite as vicious. But at least I got to see cool critters like this other grouse, aka forest chicken. After lunch that day, I hiked with Oma while Barbie and Donkey hiked at their fast paces, and this is where we found them.
I don't get to swim?
Barbie jokingly told me that I should keep walking so that he could then catch up to me, but I was like, no, I want to go for a swim. So we had a nice little afternoon swim before continuing to make our way to camp. And yes, it was still mosquito-y. The next morning was another beautiful day on the Pacific Crest Trail that I was watching through a bug screen, which, yeah, it was really starting to get old, but I also would rather see these views through a bug screen than not at all, so I guess I would continue to suck it up and keep on walking. That morning, I was even more annoyed than usual with the mosquitoes because the night prior, while using the bathroom, I had my behind lit up with mosquitoes. And sometimes it can be hard to be out here when you can't even go to the bathroom in peace. I know this isn't exactly the best example to set, but I'm eating lunch in the tent for the second day in a row because the mosquitoes are so bad, at least for me, that I cannot sit outside without being swarmed. This is like the only peace I get all day. All right, we are saying goodbye to the Yosemite Wilderness. And I was hoping that when we crossed that line, we'd also say goodbye to these friggin' mosquitoes. But they're still here. So, onward we go. Full bug net.
6 miles.
We made it a freaking 1,000 miles on the PCT. It never gets old coming across these 1,000-mile markers. Excuse the wet on my face. It's my sunscreen. But a freaking 1,000 miles. I honestly forgot we were going to hit the marker until we went over the pass. And then I remembered and I got really excited. And then there's another one on this side. Despite the mosquitoes, my day got brighter when we crossed the 1,000-mile mark. Even though I've walked this far before, I'm never any less grateful for the fact that my body allows me to see these beautiful landscapes.